Hi, I'm Rodney Anderson with Supreme Lending, and welcome back to my YouTube channel.
Break it down in bite-sized pieces when it comes to the myths of home buying.
You know, home buying is a way to gain personal wealth. Back in the financial crisis, it was a little bit more difficult because home values were going down. But over the long term, real estate is a great opportunity, and home values are still going to explode over the next 3 to 5 years.
Oh, I love that, because you know I'm getting into the home buying process right now. I've decided not to pay my landlord's rent anymore, and I want to pay my own mortgage.
So
right?
are you pre-approved?
I am pre-approved.
Yeah, by a good lender?
Yeah, by a good lender.
There you go. We're going to break down myths and mistakes.
Yes, break it down. Mistake number 1, don't go and open new credit cards or take out some new loans while you're house hunting.
A lot of times people put the cart before the horse. What they'll do is they'll go out and buy the furniture for the house and finance it before they even get their home loan. Or it's all of a sudden time to turn in the car to get a new one. You do not want to apply for credit during the mortgage process. And the reason being is those inquiries, that new debt on your credit report can cause your score to go lower and therefore affect your interest rate and you're qualifying for a mortgage.
Don't do it. Number 2, and this seems like a no-brainer, but you see this all the time. Don't go quit your job.
Oh man, Amy, we see people all the time. They'll get approved for a mortgage and then all of a sudden they'll try to make a job change or they'll quit their job. Last month we had 4 people that just up and quit their job and they said, I'm approved, I'm fully approved for my loan, but you haven't closed yet. On the day of closing, we are going to do a verification of employment to make sure that you still have your job intact. We want to make sure that you have the ability to repay your loan. If you don't have a job, how are you going to repay that mortgage?
Another big mistake people make is thinking they can carry 2 mortgages.
Yeah, a lot of people don't want to sell their house currently until they find their next house. The only problem is you got to be able to qualify for both houses. Most people can't because they got to use the equity out of their current home, and you have to be able to support that you can qualify for both payments. So before you go out and find that house, make sure that you can qualify for both homes, or if you have to sell your home up front.
Okay, know before you go. And mistake number 4, too much house.
Yeah, people call us all the time. What's the maximum I can qualify for? And a lot of times the maximum is based on commissions, bonuses, potential income down the road.
I call that maybe money, and that's sketchy.
Yeah, you want to make sure that you can qualify based on the comfortability of your payments. Just remember this. Your friends, your family, your coworkers, and I all have one thing in common. No one pays your payments. No one pays those bills. So you got to make sure you're comfortable in that payment.
We've gone through some common mistakes we want to help you avoid. Now let's go through some of the home buying myths. Number 1, don't bother getting pre-approved.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is not get pre-approved. You need to make sure that you've sat down with the lender, know what your payments are going to be, know how much money you're going to need, know the overall picture. You and I sat down getting you pre-approved up front, Amy,
Yeah.
and it was a wealth of knowledge for you, correct?
Right.
Did you understand all the numbers?
You went through everything with me.
It cost you nothing, so why not take advantage of it?
Free. Myth number 2, you should just get your mortgage from the bank that you already do business with. I mean, they know you, right?
Yeah, they know your direct deposit that goes in. They don't know your tax returns, your paycheck stubs, your bank statements. Most of the people that work for the banks have never passed mortgage tests before. Yes, they have a different set of rules. Every one of us has to pass a test. Every one of us has to be licensed. And we want to make sure that we share all that knowledge. In fact, I was at a bank one day making a withdrawal, listening to the personal banker talk to a gentleman about a mortgage. Everything they were telling him was absolutely false. It was all a mistake.
Myth number 3, don't bother reading the fine print.
Oh, you always want to read the fine print when it comes to getting a mortgage. Many lenders will just quote fees and quote numbers up front, but then all of a sudden those numbers change. Property taxes may be too low. Home insurance may be quoted too low. And the last thing you can afford is go to the closing table and the numbers are way off. And you're expecting a certain amount of payment and the payment's a lot higher.
Myth number 4, always go with the lowest interest rate. I bet you get beat up by that lowest interest rate all the time. They don't understand the whole picture.
Every single day, people don't want to give us information. What's your rate today? And all they search for is the lowest rate. But what the lowest rate doesn't tell you is how much it costs you to get that interest rate, what additional fees you're paying, and what other programs are available. For example, on your home, you're putting 5% down. Guess what, Amy? we looked at loans with PMI, but then we talked about the no PMI, the lender pay PMI programs, which took a little bit higher rate, but avoided all that monthly PMI. There's programs that are out there. Lenders need to talk to you about these programs and get educated about them because it can save you true money when it comes to that monthly payment.
Myth number 5, borrow as much as you need, even if you don't need it.
Yeah, you do not want to borrow more than you can afford. So the one thing you do not put yourself in a situation where you're going to bust your budget from the very beginning, because when you get into that new home, you're going to want some new things.
So Rodney, what is the best way we can avoid all of those issues we mentioned?
Well, number 1, find a lender you can trust. Number 2, get pre-approved up front. And number 3, get educated. Understand the whole process. Work with somebody that you can sit down with, and work with somebody that will get you to the finish line every single time.
Make sure you are subscribing to Rodney's YouTube channel right here for more information. We provide it all of the time, and also on social media.
Yeah, you can find me at R. Anderson Radio. You can always call us 1-800-EXPRESS or go to rodneyanderson.com. All of our previous radio shows on Talk Radio 1190, right there podcasted. Download the iHeartRadio app and listen to us every single day. Learn everything you need to know about buying a house, because I want to make sure that you're successful, you're knowledgeable, and you understand the whole home buying experience. See you guys next time, and we'll talk to you soon.